Our refinery, not the fertilizer, the refinery section alone has the highest number of piles you can find anywhere in the world, which is 136,000 piles. It's huge. It's 100, so everything about this refinery is very, very huge. You can see the regenerator, which they are showing here. Which
can we have some? What's that?
Yes, this one is weighing 3,000 metric tons.
You have to generate your own power.
No. This regenerator, it regenerates the crude.
You generate
the crude.
Okay.
Yes. So. So we have this, but the real challenge of the project is that we have to build our own port, because none of the ports in Nigeria can actually take the weight.
Where do you get this from?
This from Hyundai, Korea.
From Korea?
Yeah.
And you managed to ship it all the way from Korea
yes,
to...
we have actually 7 of these.
Okay.
This is the biggest, then we have another smaller ones. And this thing has to be rolled out. And so the ports in Nigeria, the heaviest equipment they can take might be maybe 150 tons or so. And then we are faced with the roads. If you look at what this one is going to go on now, they put on the this thing.
And what
we have to build a special road for all our equipment to be able to pass.
What is this creature?
Which one is that?
Well,
the other one. Okay, the other one is the heaters. Filters and heaters. They are the same.
Okay, to ensure the flow. Of
the flow of the oil, to heat it up, and so we have a lot of various. We have an equipment, single one, which is 42-story building.
You showed me some pictures of massive cranes. You said you have to get some of the world's biggest.
There are only 3 of them available in the world. There are 5,000 tons crane.
5,000 tons.
Yes, so that one you have to book maybe a year and have 2 years in advance, because there are only 3 in the world.
The whole world.
Yeah, in the whole world. Yeah, there are only.
You have photographs of this stuff?
Yeah, this is it. This is the crane. This one crane is huge.
That's the crane.
Yes, it has not been fully assembled. This crane has equipment over 205 containers, which they have to couple, together. So these are some of the, Is
this accommodation or what you are
making? No. These are the heaters.
I thought you were doing real estate as well. No,
it's not real estate. No, it's not real estate. But the site. We have over 30 kilometers of fencing.
30 kilometers of fence.
Concrete fencing at the site. So we have quite a lot of challenge. But what this will give us at the end of the day is to give us, 650,000 barrels of, crude processing, and total number of products that will produce will be about 32 million tons. So 32 million tons, it means that Nigeria will actually be one of the largest exporters in Africa of petroleum products. So what we are trying to do is to do exactly like what we did in cement. Nigeria used to be number 2 in the world after US in cement importation. And now Nigeria, was self-sufficient. And by this year, Nigeria will be the largest exporter of cement in Africa.
Okay.
With 8 million tons of expansion.
Right, but I think this wonderful. This is a courageous man to put all, he bet the bank and everything on such a massive technological projects, which in Africa we're not famous for. We always go for the soft stuff. And I'm not aware of any major private investment in Africa at that scale.
No, never.
Which is funded by local people.
Yes.
And that's it. Can you give him a hand, really, for what he's doing?
Thank you.
Now, we come to cement. I know you have a number of cement facilities. In how many countries you are producing?
Well, 14 in total, the operational one.
14.
We have about 11, then we have about 3 new countries.
Now, let me ask you a question. You had to do 14 factories.
No, more than 14 factories, 14 countries.
14 countries, so you have more than one?
Countries we have, like in South Africa, we have 2. In Nigeria, we have 3. We are building the 4th one. Let me give you the scale of our industries. Like in Nigeria, we have one single location, which we are producing about 30 million tons, which is
13 million tons.
13 today, but by end of this year, it will be 16. which is by far outstripping the whole production of South Africa.
So you're going to end up producing more than South Africa?
In that location alone, yes.
Just one location?
Just one location, yes.
South Africans, watch out. You guys are
they don't need to watch out. I'm there
becoming
also.
history. Yeah.
So we have in Zambia, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Congo, Brazzaville, So most of the countries, were there. In Cameroon, we're actually building another 3 million tons here in
Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah, Côte d'Ivoire, just about an hour, from here.
Now, strategically, when you start to build this empire of cement manufacturing, are you, of course, you're looking at markets, etc., and raw materials and transport, but was it necessary to build in 14 countries? I mean, couldn't you build in 4 or 5 key locations and then transport to other countries, or are the custom barriers forcing you to put factories sometimes where it's not optimum to do so?
Well, there are several reasons. One of the reasons, first, is that it is not easy to move around.
It's not easy to move around?
It's not easy to move around, that's number one. Number two, it depends on the country, whether they have limestone, which is our key raw material.
That's what I thought. Some location will be more...
Yeah, so, well, it depends. Like now, let me give you an example, because you've talked about movement within Africa.
Yeah.
Take, for instance, our factory in Nigeria, which is in a place called Igbeshi. It's not far away from Obasanjo's house.
Okay.
Yeah?
You put it there because of Obasanjo?
No. It's because of the limestone, actually. Okay. So we have the factory there. We're only 28 kilometers into Republic of Benin. But Republic of Benin, they don't allow us to take cement into, Benin Republic. But they import from China.
Why?
It's one of the areas that I keep always discussing with my very good friend, Vera. I'm sure she's somewhere here. And I always tell Vera, please, can you make the regional markets in Africa to work before we go to CFTA?
Now, let me just get to the bottom of this. Could it be the Chinese cement cheaper than your cement?
No. It's whatever. If the market is selling for zero, we're willing to compete at zero. So we'll just take and sell.
So you are happy to compete at price?
No. It's not about competition. It's about allowing us to go in.
So how come they allow Chinese and don't allow Nigerians?
Honestly, Mo, you should ask the president of the country. He will give you.
Do you have anybody from Benin here? No?
I'm sure nobody will rise up his hand. Do you?
Nobody from Benin.
Nobody from Benin?
Where? Okay, why are you doing that? No answer. Please, when you go home, ask why are you doing something silly like that? I mean, if it's cheaper, I understand, but if it's not cheaper, why?
Because really, the AFC, CTA is a very, very good, thing to, But my issue is that even if we sign, what about the implementation? We are very good at designing programs and whatever, but implementation is key, which is really missing.
Because we talked about free trade areas.
Yes.
ECOWAS talked about borderless.
Yes.
Region. Is that happening in reality or not?
Well, actually, it's not happening in reality. Because the biggest issue that you have is, allowing movement. Today, if we are going to take cement to, say, maybe Togo, we're going to spend almost a week for just 210 kilometers.
Is it the roads or is it the customs?
It's the customs.
The customs?
Yeah, you sleep in the border when you get there.
Why?
Yeah, because, it's just corruption.
You have to pay in order to get your cement across?
Well, we don't pay, but maybe that's why they're holding us. But even people who are paying, they have to spend that long period of time.
Also.
It's a long process, yes. So I think the CFTA will help us. But I think before we jump to CFTA, we must make sure that the regional markets are working very well.
Right. I think there is some practical issue here which people need to think about. We keep celebrating in Addis Ababa signing agreements and borders and movement, free movement. And here we have a situation where it takes a week to move goods 280 kilometers between two neighboring countries.
And then your neighbor too will say that, no, don't bring your goods here. I think when you look at it, a place like Republic of Benin, Togo, and Co., they are the ones that will benefit more. in terms of this, regional markets. Because if I'm from Benin or I have business in Benin, it means that I don't only have market for 14, 15 million people. I have Nigeria's market, which is 200. You see, because the economic activities of Nigeria is mainly in the southwest, which is 60%. And Republic of Benin is like part and parcel of that area. I mean, it's easy. My own market, like what I said, it's easier for me to take my cement into Republic of Benin than going to Lagos. Even though I'm near.
I mean, yeah, we have been talking about regional. Where is Vera? I mean, we're talking about regional integration and all this stuff, and it's not happening on the ground. So
Vera, are you here? Yeah, she's right there. Okay, we'll get you.
No, I think this conversation is important to really show what's happening actually on the ground. You know, how we're going to move.
More, couple of us, we have a lot of, work in our hands to do. I mean, today, for example, what I keep saying, luckily, people like Vera, they're actually, pushing. They have done this African Union passports.
Passports?
Yes, okay.
I haven't got one yet. I don't know why.
No, they have to give you one, definitely. I mean, it's better for you, because if you now see my passports, I carry 6 to 7 passports because of visas, okay? And even though I'm an investor, but I need visas in almost 38 countries out of 55 or so. So now they have issued us with the African Union passport, about a few of us. We've gotten the first.
3 of us.
Maybe 3 or 4.
How much did I have to pay for that?
No, I didn't pay anything.
Come on, I mean,
no.
But look, I mean, I haven't got one. I mean, I support the African Union. They didn't give me one. You must have paid something for those guys.
No. We got it. It is in Addis Ababa at the African Union. So I've got one. But let me tell you this: the one that I have, I went to South Africa quite okay, and I think
you were carrying a Nigerian passport or South African passport?
No, carrying African Union passport.
African Union passport.
Yes, but this same African Union passport, I'm sorry, since we're all talking very openly, but I was invited by the president of Angola to come and, see him. And, I had to go. Normally, I don't travel much during fasting period, but I went. And when I went there, I had to be given visa on African Union passport.
Maybe there is fees for the visa?
No,
there's no fees?
It's not about fees. When you say African Union passport, it means that you should
some
move
money
everywhere, free of charge.
I thought that was the agreement.
Yes, okay. So I had to apply for visa, and intentionally when I applied for the visa, I also applied on African Union passport, and I gave them that one to stamp on it.
Maybe you need to send the picture of that to Musa Faki to say...
No, I'm going to send it to Vera.
She did not issue the passport.
She did issue, yeah, but she should go and...
They said, what is this? I mean, is that useful?
No, I think she's in Ethiopia, and since she's dragging all of us to champion this CFTA, so she needs to go and sort out these hanging issues. Then we'll all go out with her. Nigeria will sign tomorrow.
I tell you something. In this travel thing, I tell you honestly, I mean, I also have, besides Sudanese passport, I have a British passport. I cannot use Sudanese passport anyway for obvious reasons. So I travel with British passport. I go everywhere. I get my visa in South Africa.
If you go to any...
Because I say here, I'm British. I don't look British, but I have a British passport. So it's like this.
But more, your own is even easier or very simple. I've been to most of these countries where somebody who is my assistant, okay, who take notes in the meeting, he will be allowed in, and they will not allow me in.
An African country?
An African country, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's... What do you do with those guys? Anyway.
Well, I think we need political will to be able to implement most of these things that we're signing. And, I think in Africa, if you will allow British, European, Americans to get in there on visa, having visa on arrival, you should allow all Africans to get in there with no visas. And I keep telling them, I was on a panel with the Prime Minister of, Mali. And I asked him, I said, Mr. Prime Minister, the people who are causing trouble in the other part of your country, did they come through the airports?
No.
No, those guys, they don't need a visa.
Boko Haram, that's... Exactly.
They don't need a visa, so whether you give, it's better you go and concentrate on the
You go
troubles.
from the border, exactly. You go
they
just
go through with their tanks.
5 kilometers from the airport.
Yes,
you cross.
with their tanks, and they come into the cities with no, yes. So that's the,
One thing before, I need to talk a little bit about the issue of policy, but before we continue there's one thing you mentioned about agriculture.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to know what exactly you do about agriculture. I look at agriculture as also the one activity which can create a lot of jobs. Frankly, mining does not create jobs. You told me that you employ up to 70,000 people to build that refinery and stuff. I think there is a port need to be built, and there is power.
So many infrastructure
things. But these are not operational employment. This will be employed during the construction.
Period of construction.
But when you operate,
but you develop a lot of skills.
Yes, but when you operate, there will be only a couple of thousand or 3,000, something like that.
Yes, but the indirect employment is there also.
Fine.
Yeah.
But
agriculture
generates huge amount of jobs.
Much more.
That's why I'm interested in agriculture. Tell me, what exactly are you doing in agriculture?
Thank you, Mo. Well, what we are doing in agriculture, we are building 1 million tons rice, parboiling and processing with power generation, also attached to them. And with this, what we are doing is that we are giving the farmers, seeds, apart from seeds with implements, and then, when they finish the harvest, we buy this. But they have, they have a choice also, so that we don't really hold them to ransom. They have a choice of selling to anybody who will offer
so
more.
Although we give them the seeds and the fertilizers,
give them the seeds, and the implements, if they need any additional money, we have a backup by our central bank to lend them money, as a
to enable them to
enable them, yes, because in those areas it is very difficult for them to go and mortgage their houses and borrow money.
Monetize.
So so they can easily borrow money under soft terms. Somebody is not going to ask you to bring your grandmother's certificate of birth, which you normally don't have.
Okay, and but those people, when they finish, they sell you the rice, and you are committed to be competitive.
Well, committed.
It's not because I lend you money, you must give it to me cheap.
No. What we have agreed with them is that if my price is not right, they should give to somebody, but they should come back and pay me my money.
You pay your debt, of course.
Yes.
That's the debt.
So that's what we have. But you see, you can imagine how many jobs we are going to create.
How many people are going to work on this?
Both that one and the sugar in the next 4 years, we're actually creating about 150,000 jobs.
150,000
jobs, yes.
Interesting. I mean, this one area where
But you can see the impact. We are not going to create that much jobs in the refinery, which is 12 billion.
Yeah.
But this one is just less than 2 billion, but you can see the amount of jobs.
Created.
And yes, if we really in Africa want to create jobs, prosperity, and also, somebody was telling me that, yes, there's a great GDP growth here in Côte d'Ivoire, but it's not trickling down. Just like us, also in Nigeria, when you look at it, even when we're having 7-8% of GDP growth, down there, they hardly see anything.
The trickles through is not happening.
It is trickling, but slowly.
Not serious.
Not serious. Yeah. So the only way to have these things to trickle fast enough is through agriculture, where now, and that's why we have a greater advantage. I mean, you have a ready market, which is the difficulty of a lot of continents, but we have a market because the African continent imports more goods than any other continent. So what we need to do is to make sure that we transform our own goods. And it is very, very important more. Let me give you an example. Today, between Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, they actually produce 2/3 of the world's cocoa.
Yeah.
Okay? But the total amount of these exports that they have is about $6 billion. Okay? But the chocolate market is 100 billion.
Yeah. Yes.
So you can see that, they are just working for other people.
Yeah. The problem is how to create African brands.
We need to do that. Even if it's not African brands, they should
brand.
That's right. They should actually have some of these factories here.
Yeah. But they need to create a brand in order to sell it, Marks and Spencer and, markets everywhere.
The brand creation, is not really that difficult. The only thing that you have to be sure of is that your quality is right and your pricing is right.
Yeah.
Once you have that, nobody looks at where it is manufactured.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because most of the shoes you buy in Italy, they are not manufactured in Italy, especially in the U.S.
Is it U.S.?
Yeah,
I thought
US.
U.S. stopped manufacturing everything. They say China does everything now.
Well,
They
China
still make
produces
shoes in America?
Yeah, they do all that. But you know, right now, your friend is trying to drag all the industries to go to America.
Okay, we'll not talk about that
Trump.
now. Okay. Right, I mean, that's very interesting. Let us move also to, although the point of agriculture, I hope it registered. And that's a very important area because first, we are not really using all the lands we have. We have huge amount of arable land which is not being used.
60% of the world's arable land.
And we're not using that. Then even the land we are using, we have the lowest productivity in the world. And there is a huge upside there if we improve that productivity. So this is an area we will need to look at very carefully.
We'll change that though more before you go on to the next thing. You know, the rice, before in Nigeria, we used to do only one crop per annum. Now we do 2 crops, and they used to get about 1 to 2 tons per hectare. Now we have varieties that we imported that are giving us up to 8 tons per hectare. So once you have this, you know, it will help the farmers.
Techniques
it will help a lot of people to now realize that, look, farming is not a poor man's business. It can actually get rich faster in farming than doing something else. I mean, you look at it, you know, I mean, today we also have fertilizer, which we used to import a lot. Okay, this fertilizer, we have laboratories that will go and test your soil and give you what kind of fertilizer that you need. Whereas right now, as of today, people use the same fertilizer for maize, for rice, for sugar, you know, so they don't actually differentiate, including the type of soil that you have.
So this issue of best practice, why don't you produce a case study or something useful? You've been through that, and let us, other African countries, appreciate how to do it, because we need to replicate what you have done there in other countries as well. Or you plan to do it all by yourself?
No.
Okay, so you're going to allow other people. So why don't you really let people know, here is how to do it? And,
well, you know, that is one of the reasons why when you look at it, you know, I do travel, you know, very often to various areas, you know, where I can give a talk, you know, sometimes inside Nigeria, sometimes outside, you know, Nigeria. Just tell them that, hey, look, all this thing is a myth. Nothing is impossible. We can really make it happen. We as Africans, we can actually, you know, the issue is that, first of all, we have to understand that there are, I mean, in all the countries in the world, whether it's South Korea, Japan, US, those economies were actually built up by their own indigenous.